You just got your blood test back, you see a PSA level of 3.5, and your doctor tells you everything is okay because it's under 4. You feel relieved, you go home, but what if I told you that depending on your age, the normal number could either be falsely reassuring or unnecessarily frightening? For a man in his 40s or 50s, a PSA of 3.5 could be concerning, but for older men, the very same number could mean something completely different. A single PSA number is not a simple yes or no answer for prostate cancer. I'm Dr. Chovanec, and today I'm going to show you why traditional normal PSA level can be misleading, what the 2023 American Urological Association guidelines say about risk, and one question you need to ask your doctor if your PSA is rising and is still in a so-called green zone. The problem is the 4.0 trap. For decades, medicine used number 4 as a universal cutoff. Below 4, you were told you were safe, and above 4, you were told to get a biopsy. But modern guidelines are very clear. There is no universal PSA number that separates low risk from high risk or cancer and benign. Why? Because PSA is personal. It is influenced by your age, your prostate size, your family history, and your baseline biology. Let me give you an example. A PSA of 3.5 may be completely acceptable for a man that is 75 years old and has a larger prostate. But for a 48-year-old, the same PSA level is well above the median for his age, which is usually somewhere between 0.4 and 1. For a younger man, a PSA that is still considered to be normal but higher than expected for his age is one of the strongest predictors of future aggressive prostate cancer. Large long-term studies have shown that men with higher PSA levels in their midlife have a several-fold higher risk of developing clinically significant prostate cancer decades later. According to 2023 AUA Guidelines, there is no single normal PSA number. Instead, risk is interpreted using age-adjusted reference values combined with the broader clinical context. Many studies and the guideline itself support thinking this way. In your 40s, we pay attention if your PSA is approaching 2.5. In your 50s, it's around 3.5. In your 60s, it's around 4.5. However, these are not automatic biopsy triggers. They are signals to slow down and to look closer. And if you are in a higher risk, for example, strong family history, Black ancestry, or a presence of a genetic mutation called BRCA2, screening should start earlier, typically between ages 40 and 45. Now, here's something critical. If your PSA is newly elevated, guidelines agree on one thing. Clinicians should repeat PSA before they proceed to further tests or biopsy. Why? Because PSA can temporarily rise due to benign causes, such as infection, urinary retention, or recent medical procedures. In fact, in 25 to 40% of men, an elevated PSA will return to normal after retest. That's why no major medical decision should be made based on single blood draw. Now the solution is beyond the number itself. So if the number alone isn't enough, what does it matter? The 2023 guidelines emphasize one thing: shared decision making. This is not a doctor giving you an order. This is a structured conversation. And today we're using risk calculators that combine PSA level, age, family history, ancestry, and sometimes prior biopsy or imaging results. This all gives us a probability, not a guess. We also use PSA density, which is basically PSA divided by the size of the prostate. And the principal key to remember is that high PSA coming from a small prostate is more concerning than higher PSA coming from a large prostate. And then there's real game changer MRI, magnetic resonance imaging. When there is a concern for prostate cancer, getting an MRI before the biopsy can help us detect clinically significant cancers or avoid unnecessary biopsies for benign changes or harmless disease. When MRI detects a suspicious lesion, a PI-RADS scores of 3, 4, or 5, this is the score radiologists use to express the risk of cancer from imaging studies. That's where the targeted biopsy makes sense. MRI is not for everyone, but in the right context, it dramatically improves the decision making. This is why I started this channel. In my practice, I see men who were told they were fine for years because they had PSA levels within arbitrary range, only to be diagnosed when the disease was already advanced. And I also see men who are completely terrified by a small PSA rise that is caused by benign changes or enlarged prostate. The word normal is a statistical average, but you are not an average. You are a person with specific age, specific prostate, and specific risk profile. My mission with this channel is to give you clear evidence-based information so you can advocate for yourself. Here is a checklist for your next checkup. Don't just ask if your PSA is normal. Ask if your PSA is appropriate for your age and prostate size. If it's elevated, repeat it. Never make a major decision-making based on one number. Ask about the risk-based steps. In the right situation, MRI could be a powerful tool before the biopsy. If this video helped you, subscribe to the channel. We are building a community of men who take their health seriously. And next video is PSA levels explained, and in the video after that I'll take you through steps what I would do if my PSA was rising step by step. I'm Dr. Chovanec. Keep your health in your hands.